body work can really help you heal from past traumas, lack of abundance, and a lot of other things. But even better, do you know how to get 40 orgasms in a row? Probably you don't. Well, here, our amazing guest is going to teach you and tell us how to achieve that. So stay until the end of this podcast and you can find out how to do it. I'm Tatiana Castro, and I want to welcome you to Secrets of Manifestation. Today we have an incredible guest with us, someone that is a master in all this tantric energy that can transform your body in so many ways. And today he's going to talk to us about it. He's going to show you how can you activate everything in your body to transform it, to heal past traumas, and to become a better version of yourself. Jason Henry, many of us know him as Jay, is here to help you. Hi, Jay. How are you?
Hi, Tatiana. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm really excited to have you here with us.
Well, I'm happy to be speaking with you. Excited for your upcoming trip to Miami for your event. That's going to be amazing. And I'm
Oh,
happy to be on
yes.
here.
Well, I have a lot of questions because when I introduce you as a master in Tantra, as a Tantra master, I know many
Yeah.
people would ask, what is that? So please elaborate a little bit for us.
I would love to. I mean, Tantra's kind of in vogue right now, so there are a lot of people that are kind of getting Tantra passed in front of their eyes on Instagram or online, Facebook, places like that. And in the spiritual community, it's kind of starting to catch fire, and it's catching fire for the right reasons. So I've been a body worker for 26 years now. So I started out in Hawaii learning Lomi Lomi, learning how to actually heal people with my own touch. I feel like that's the closest to a miracle that a human can actually do, you know? I mean, like the ability to fix somebody has always really been, like a quest for myself because I myself was broken once and broken once, more than once actually. So I just, like as a Tantra practitioner or as a Tantra master, I was already established in the bodywork realm on fixing people physically. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm also a body worker. I've compiled about 8 different massage modalities into one complete session. Well, at least at the time, I thought it was complete. But I mean, as your audience would probably agree, that nothing's complete if it's just the physical. We are emotional beings. We are beings that we have anxieties and we have this fight or flight response. And even in the bodywork world, trying to overcome that fight or flight response is kind of the biggest problem that most therapists have. And in my quest of trying to self heal and also figure out like a way that I could bridge that gap with my clients, I started diving into Tantra and hypnotherapy. So I've been doing, both of those professions, 26 years for bodywork, a few decades for Tantra. And like for the people that are kind of, I don't want to say getting bombarded with Tantra coming into the world, but we are starting this new age of discovery. We are now in new energy in the world. And we have, with that new energy, lots of crazy anxiety. We have a world that's on the brink of World War III. We've got election here in the US that's coming up, and things are only getting crazier. And Tantra is a great way to kind of pull yourself out of your anxious mind and redirect your focus into your body. And so that's what I do for a living is I get to
Wait,
help through Tantra with
I have
that.
because this brings a lot of questions that I know that
Oh,
people that are seeing
perfect.
us might have to. And it's when you talk about body work and tantra, and I've seen your videos regarding massage and regarding how people get really transformed with them. But this
Yeah.
this this brings a question. Do you think the spiritual part, the emotional part, and the physical part are related? Because you're talking about healing through body work. How does that work?
Well, that's a great question. That's actually the Holy Trinity. In my world, that's the Holy Trinity, to be able to combine the body, the emotions, and the energy state that all of us have. Um, how is, say, ask one more time the core of the question?
How do you relate and heal a person emotionally or spiritually by doing body work and this tantra magic onto them?
Well, we all hold on to stress and fatigue and anxieties. I mean, that's the big thing that most people, the big hurdle that most people need to kind of get over is pulling themselves out of this supercomputer that we have. Our frontal cortex of our brain constantly spins. I mean, we are problem solvers. And right now in this world, there are a lot of problems. And a lot of people, they just get overly stressed out and fatigued because they're constantly recycling through past traumas or expectations for the future rather than being right here, right now in this present moment. So, Tantra and body work, or the combination of both, it's a great way for someone to get out of that anxiety center of the brain, to stop thinking about all the things that are causing them problems in their world and start focusing on how they actually feel right now in the moment. With Tantra, it's an elevated next step because what you're actually doing is you're re-bridging that gap between mind and body, mostly utilizing the chakras and using the vagus nerve that kind of runs right through the chest cavity, feeds electrical current to all your vital organs, and goes straight down to your yoni as a woman and all the way back up to your prostate as a man. And that's the important, nerve in our body that gives us emotional feedback of how we're feeling down here. So helping clients kind of tap into that response and truly feeling themselves and pushing the anxieties away. That's how Tantra helps heal people, and that's how bodywork helps heal people as well. Even from the physical aspect, just having that moment of being touched and being caressed and being, even if it's got a deep pressure massage, just being released, like there's a comfort in that. I mean, anybody who's a pet owner that has a dog realizes the happiness that dog receives from you petting it. Humans are no different. We're still animals.
I have a question regarding that, and is, does your therapy only helps people with anxiety and traumas, or can it heal, for example, or improve the sexual ability of a person? Because I see in your videos too that there's a lot
Yeah.
of touch involved. Could you be
Well,
able to
there is a
explain?
lot of touch involved, and yes, getting over anxieties and troubles and traumas is kind of the focal point. But also for those that don't feel like they have an overwhelming problem with those issues, to come alive, to have a tantra session in which your body is ignited like a fire is good for anybody. So even if you're not dealing with traumas and troubles and you don't have a problem getting out of the anxiety center of your brain and really feeling the moment, there is that sense of liberation. And with a tantra session, what you're really doing is you're just heightening that sensation, that electrical sensation that you would have between your brain and your body and your private parts. So as far as improving sexual performance, oh yes, of course, because tantra, especially here in the West, everybody knows about tantra through tantric sex, correct? Like most people, that they're like, oh, tantra, that's a sexual thing. And yes, it does help with sexual betterment and sexual well-being. From the masculine side, it helps in, I don't want to just say sexual stamina, but sexual mental stamina, the ability to edge and
Wait,
withhold
wait.
and
What is the
feel the
difference?
energy.
What is the difference between those two? I mean, I would love to hear it.
Okay, what is the difference between what two?
The two tantric touches, the one here and the one in the physical body.
Oh, well, I mean, like for female practitioners, they have, male clients and they deal with that issue for men, and I deal with the issue for women in helping them envelop into their body and finding and creating an experience that is as captivating as it possibly can be. And in that realm, there's a thing called a yoni massage, and yoni is kind of the Sanskrit word for vulva or vagina. And so with tantra, and the goal is being captivation again, in which you can't pull back into your own mind and you're locked into the present moment. A yoni massage is an important aspect of a tantra session. It is an event that requires intimacy. It's an event that requires bravery. These are social hurdles that once you kind of liberate yourself from, you feel a sense of relief. You feel a sense of gratitude and a sense of liberation. But with a yoni massage, yes, there is stimulation, and it's not just like boom, you jump into a yoni massage. There's a chain of events of welcoming your energy into their space. It's a momentum that starts with the body and then it has its conclusion in the yoni massage. And a yoni massage obviously is one in which I bring a woman to the point of I say this lightly and it sounds worse than it is, but soul crushing liberation.
Wow.
As a tantra practitioner and as a body worker who has 26 years of using these things, um, and the knowledge base that I have through tantra and through anatomy from being a physical therapist as well, I'm able to provide the experience that I can make a woman orgasm from touching her neck or her armpit or her leg or her foot. I've got, as you've probably seen on my page, I've got documentation of that. But, like through the yoni massage, the effort in which you're doing is to overwhelm my client's senses, to give her 40 orgasms in a row that she just breaks down in hysterical tears afterwards and starts
Wait, is
shaking
it possible to
uncontrollably.
have 40 orgasms in a row?
Oh, yeah, easily, easily. More
Because
than that, actually.
most women have problem even having one or two.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a specialty
Husband?
of mine is dealing with women that have the inability to orgasm. Um, a large portion of my client base are women that either haven't orgasmed in 5 or 10 years or never in their entire life. It's helping because all that is emotional. The physical component and the
Wow.
circuitry of the brain and body are things
Wow.
that I'm a master at. And so I know how to play a woman's body like a guitar. So by utilizing, the central nervous system as those guitar strings, I'm able to pluck and pick and put pressure in places that I need to. Again, like I've made a I've made a tantra practitioner partner of mine in a two-handed massage have an orgasm simply by laying her hands on the woman that I was giving the yoni massage to, in which they both erupted an orgasm at the same time, just through transference of energy. So, and I've done it with women,
This
that's
sounds
almost like an
really
exorcism
incredible.
experience. What's that?
It feels powerful. It feels very
Oh,
deep.
it's Kundalini. It's the most powerful energy in the universe. It's the energy that brings people together. It's sexual, like sexual energy is healing energy if you think about it because your body comes alive. Literally all the important chemicals that fix you on the inside are released during orgasm and postcoital. So during orgasm your body is flooded with serotonin, neuroepinephrine, dopamine. Postcoital, after the climax, when done correctly, usually by applying pressure to the entirety of the body, oxytocin floods the body. And oxytocin is that powerful neurotransmitter that mothers give out when they're going through labor. It's the reason they don't reject the baby that just gave them 4 hours of tremendous pain. It's what lovers feel when they embrace after sex. It's that closeness, that bonding chemical. And that's a powerful chemical that a lot of these women, a lot of my clients haven't felt in quite a while. So through the yoni massage, and I'm saying this because it's almost like an exorcism. When you go through the proper steps throughout, and it's not just like here, jump on my table, let's go at it. No, I'm getting time to acclimate our energies together, to build trust together. So my clients will come in, we'll sit down, we'll have a discussion. I am a sexual abuse and physical abuse victim from my own childhood. I'm a war veteran. So I've had some very intense moments in life, and through the ability to relate and really listen, I sit down and I discuss things with my clients that they would never tell anybody else. And after that, we go through an exchange of different exercises in which we bond together. Bonding is the most important thing. None of these 40 orgasms that I'm talking about can ever happen if trust isn't established first. If the ability to overcome the uncomfortableness of being as vulnerable as you could possibly be. These women are coming to me as a man and being at their most vulnerable state. They're letting me know their insecurities. They're letting me know their traumas. They're getting naked in front of me in a complete stranger's home. So I have honor for the fact that this requires trust. And us overcoming that first obstacle together, it establishes a bonding that is, it's a bonding that most married couples never experience.
Okay,
It's
I
true
love this
surrender.
subject. I really love this subject, and we want to know more. We're gonna make
Yeah.
a pause because we're gonna
Okay.
talk about another subject, but we'll be right back. Because I bet
Perfect.
you girls and you guys would like to know how exactly can you get 40 orgasms in a row, or how can
Oh,
you heal? Which benefits would you get from this, and what can you really heal besides sex? We'll be right back. An angel's message is sometimes exactly what we need to get some guidance and some protection. So here's yours today. It says, wow, go deep inside. Perfectly and a perfect match for today's podcast. You're a person that is intuitive. You have your intuition, let it flow. Whatever is inside of you deserves for you to put your attention on it. So listen to what your heart is trying to tell you. Go and meditate. Go deep. Pray. Use the techniques of body work like today's program to do that. Don't act by impulse. Don't play it by ear. Flow, but in a smart way. And more than everything, be patient with yourself and with your process. Well, we're back again. And now I would like to ask you, Jay, what made you decide to serve other people? Was it a trauma? Was it something that you needed to heal? I heard at the beginning of this podcast that you said that you had your own stuffs to heal before healing others. Would you tell us more about it?
yeah. That's a great question, to be honest. So when I talk about the fact that I can relate with my clients at a level of intimacy that most people can't, keep in mind that a very large base of my clients are women that are dealing with sexual abuse, childhoods or adulthoods, women that are dealing with physical abuse, either in their current situation or previous situations. So they instinctively have a overwhelming urge to pull away from masculine energy for obvious reasons. And for a lot of them, that left them a life where they've shunned masculinity to an extent that they've put themselves as a recluse. Or they're deeply scared that they have somebody that they love and they're going to scare that person away because they keep pulling back every time intimacy is expressed. So the reason why I can relate is, through my childhood was I did not have a good childhood. I'll be honest about that. But part of my own self-liberation is getting past the shame of my childhood. I'm a victim of physical abuse. I'm a victim of being put into foster care and experiencing more abuse, sexual abuse. Yes, I'm a full-grown masculine man and who's confident enough to in his own skin to be able to say, hey, listen, without shame, a lot of young boys get molested. So I have that base, not just the base of a really rough childhood with abandonment and trust issues and a heightened sense of awareness, because all abuse victims are empaths. You, especially if it happens early on, you become a strong empath. Why? Because you need to feel out the situation. You need to know what your dangers are and who you need to be on their good graces. Because, as a child, who's been abused, you really have no safety net. Everybody, if you feel abandonment in the situation or shame in the situation, like you become hyper focused and hyper aware of making other people's lives happy, not your own. So within this instance, the reason why clients are able to just let go of the chains of shame within my home is because I'm able to relate. They're able to trust because of that. We go through different activities. I might throw a blindfold on a client and lead her around the room where her only sense of security is the sound of my voice as I'm directing her. We may sit face to face and eye gaze and circular breathe together to come in unison and really envelop ourselves in each other's energy and souls. So, there is a sense of grounding and feeling that comes from, camaraderie of going through similar experiences. And so for me to have wanted to not only learn Tantra for my own personal use, because, you know, it has helped me elevate myself from that shame. It has helped me, you know, in don't want to say welcoming, but understanding issues that I would have with abandonment. And this is what I want with my clients to have that peace of mind, because those are the anxieties that we are focused on in the brain that we can't let go and we can't enjoy the present moment. So I wanted to create a world, a job for myself in which I can help other people experience what that true liberation feels like. And I love it. I literally have the best job on earth, the
I've
absolute
seen,
best job on earth.
I've seen the testimonials. Thank you also for sharing your story with us, because I do believe that when you go through a difficult time, it's true, you become empathic with
Yeah.
people around you and people that come to you needing some healing. When do you think was that point in which you said, "There's no return here. I definitely want to go"? Was there a point in your life in which you said, "This is my path"?
Well, you know, I left the army. I had started learning how to do body work before joining, and I had, you know, a rough time in the army. I mean, look where we're at in the world right now, and overcoming PTSD. You know, like I just wanted to dive into it. So it was within my time in the army that I was like, I need something better. I need a job that brings me enrichment for my soul. I need something that's not causing pain to those that are in my vicinity. I need a job or a career or a life that brings harmony to my soul and helping people overcome the same issues that I had to overcome or still am overcoming. Was like, you know, it gives me a purpose. It makes me a more complete human. So it is, in an aspect, me doing what I do is selfish in a way, but also selfless in so many ways. And I love it.
I'm glad, and I really love this that you're telling us, because I also think that I've seen you, folks. I've seen him. He's
Yeah.
super masculine, super handsome, and awesome in what he does. So I
Thank
do
you.
believe that this empathic and empathy that you have with people help them heal. Do you also treat men, or is it only women? Is it different treat
Well,
a
you know,
male
that's a
and a
great
female?
question. That's a great question. So, you know, for my more extreme, now I offer a bevy of different styles of sessions. Rhythmicbodywork.com is my main website. MyTantraExperience.com is another website for exclusive experiences. But so half of three of my sessions are more in the therapeutic realm, and they're kind of based off of pressure levels. So I have one called Soothe Me, which is kind of my most requested therapeutic session. And then I have two other ones called Break Me and Baby Me. And so with those ones, I see a lot of men as clients. But then when it comes to my Tantra experiences,
Wait,
I
on the
have three
baby me, you
sessions.
see a lot of males? A
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
men.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A
Please,
lot of us. You know what's
the
actually kind
difference.
of funny is you can't judge a book by its cover. So I said
I
that those
know.
therapeutic ones
I
are
love
based off
this.
of pressure level. Oh yeah. If I have two clients and one is like a very skinny, frail, middle-aged woman, and I have another client who's this big, buff, macho bodybuilder dude, who do you think enjoys deep pressure versus the other one?
I'm gonna love this answer.
The bigger and stronger most guys are, the bigger babies they are. So yes, I do offer a session that is much more gentle and much more controlled. And I use a lot more what's called Esseline massage and a lot more of my Reiki. I'm also a Reiki master as well. So I'll utilize that for those that, you know, at each soul wants something different. I'm not saying every big dude hates deep pressure because that would be a bold-faced lie.
No, no, no,
But
no,
more
no.
often than not,
It's
it's the
great
skinny,
because
frail, older lady that you have to break. Like you got to go super deep. You know, it's and I joke about it a lot, but technically, what it actually has to do is those big, strong builder men are keeping in shape. What they're doing is they're working out all these muscles. What they're doing is keeping the static tension off this vagal nerve. So they actually feel their body with a hyper focus. because they're conditioning and working their body. Whereas when I have this more frail, kind of more middle-aged woman who probably spends most of her day shoulders forward, neck forward, typing or texting or doing household chores or raising her children, well, guess what happens? Now the scalenes in the neck, the trapezius muscle, this sternocleidomastoid, this tendon that runs in the front, well, now they're experiencing a lot of, swelling and hypertension. And when that happens, it starts to squeeze and suffocate that nerve. So they actually, even though I'm saying you got to go super deep and you got to break them, to be honest, if your body's really needing super, super deep pressure because you can't feel anything that's lighter than that, it's not really a good thing. That's a very unhealthy thing. So, when I have those three different styles of therapeutic sessions, with those sessions, I'm hoping that I can eventually help that one that gets the break me session, the really firm, deep pressure. I'm hoping that eventually I'll get her more sensitive to her body's needs, more sensitive and feeling in where she needs to be, where I don't need to use that deep of pressure for her to get the same results. So yeah, you can't judge a book by its cover, but technically these big, strong dudes, they may cry like little babies if they get a lot of pressure, but to be honest, that's actually the healthy place that you really want to be in life. This is a defense mechanism of feeling pain. And if your defense mechanism of feeling pain is down because of numbness, it's not the best experience. It's not the best experience. So do I see guys? Yes, I see a lot of guys for that. And in my Tantra sessions, I have three different ones. I have a session that's called Liberate Me, which is kind of my Tantra light. It's in which that I help reestablish that connection that's non-sexual energy. I'm still utilizing the energy of Kundalini, but it's a much more wholesome, it's a much more like, it's an experience that you can buy a gift certificate for your mom and not feel weird about it. Like it's an experience where I produce a lot of the same results through hypnosis. I utilize a technique called haptic hypnosis, in which most hypnotists will swing a pendulum in front of your eyes. I turn my client's body into that pendulum. So I hypnotize through touch. I have a slow and steady rhythm that I utilize with one hand. And what happens is half of their brain locks into that slow and steady rhythm. The half of the brain that wants security, that wants trust, that wants to follow along. Whereas I start to hit different pressure points with the other hand, firing up the other hemisphere. And when both hemispheres aren't aligned, they go out. They go into what's called a parasympathetic response. That's rest, digest, and orgasm. That's the adverse effect to a sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. Again, we're conditioning the body. So with that Liberate Me session, through vagal nerve stimulation, I start messing with the neck, armpit, the hands. The hands, I can make anybody orgasm by touching their hands. It's the easiest thing in the world. The neck as well. So I do see guys in the context of those sessions, not with the express concern of making them orgasm, but there are things called energy orgasms. It's an eruption of the soul. It's an eruption of the central nervous system. And it feels very similar to an orgasm, but yet there's no genitalia action. The brain is going through that orgasm. And I'm able to accomplish that with my male clients and my female clients for those. So that's my Liberate Me session. And I actually have slated this season several sexual wellness retreats with a wonderful set of doctors and a group called Best Lifing that works with a lot of really exclusive spas throughout the world. And we'll be setting up a curriculum where I'm handling the emotional component while the doctors are doing hormone replacement therapy and vaginal rejuvenations and things of that nature. So it's like, like even with the Liberate Me session being that kind of lighter spectrum tantra work, it still has a very viable physical response and emotional response within the confines of that session. The trust still needs to be elevated, maybe not the level of my other two tantra sessions, but we dabble with the trust work as well.
Talk to me about the strongest Tantra session. What does it do?
My strongest that I currently
Would it be
have
the
in my
break me?
repertoire now are my 30. Well, those are the therapeutic end. So the break me is basically the deepest pressure massage you can ever experience. I'm utilizing a lot of Rolfing techniques and active release therapy techniques, so it's a painful massage. So that's on the therapeutic aspect. But my most powerful session on the Tantra aspect are my 3 hour sessions, my 3 hour Tantra experience sessions. In which we go through, and the yoni massage portion is there. Now, these sessions, obviously, as a straight man, I do them exclusively for women. It just creates an environment where both of us are comfortable. Like my own insecurities or my own, I still need to be in an environment in which I feel comfortable for me to have my client feel comfortable. So therefore, I stick with female clients for the last two tantra sessions that I offer. But yeah, the with that session, it's about that's the session that's more aligned for women that are sexual abuse victims, or more aligned for women that are physical abuse victims, or more aligned for women that are women that have a very hard time getting out of their masculine energy. That's great for single mothers, because single mothers need to fill the role of both masculine and feminine to the point, and also women that are very busy in their workplace. They need to be able to conspire in that competition energy, that energy that's supposed to be the providing energy, in which they morph themselves into that. And I don't mean by, we're all duality, so we all have feminine energy and traits and masculine energy and traits, but those women tend to align more on that, and they become this dominant boss babe. And that's a wonderful thing, but they're not really getting a chance to liberate their soul on what actually recharges their emotions, which is enveloping themselves in moments of opportunity to be a divine feminine.
You
To
know something? I need to leave this part for our next part, because I really want to know how can a boss
yeah.
babe become really in touch with her sexual part. Besides that, I would like to know in our next part,
Hmm.
what is the minimum age, the maximum age, which clients should look for you, and which people. Has there been someone you have said no to? We will be back to all of that in a little while. A lot of things going on for us. So don't forget to watch the information that's under this video. You can get our phones and you can be with all. A lot is going on. So don't forget to go into the information of this video and check it out. I have more than 10 digital courses in Hotmart regarding different subjects. I also have 7 books translated to English and Spanish. And by my surprise, two became bestsellers. And besides that, we have workshops, live and virtual workshops every month regarding quantum constellations, Akashic records, and different other things to help you achieve your dreams and the life you want. Let's keep on watching what this amazing guest has to offer to us. Listo. Are you a suitable person for this transformational message or no? Let's ask Jay. Jay, which is the minimum age that a person can have? 15, 14, 16 to go see you?
Well, okay. So to see me in the realm of massage, I've actually, not too long ago, I had two parents that came and got sessions, and their two young children got sessions with me as well. So I've got plenty of experience. I have my own son who's 6 that I massage quite often. He loves his feetsies massaged while we watch TV. But no, I mean, for the therapeutic aspect, there really is no age. During some of the coursework that I've done infant massage. So there really is no grounds on that. It's a full spectrum between 1 and 100. But when it comes to my Tantra experiences, for myself and for the obvious legal ramifications, because intimacy is involved. And I don't mean intimacy as far as sexual intimacy. I mean just intimacy, being able to
Yes.
relate, being able to connect, being in that space, being in that energy. I do require that they're 18. So and most of my younger clients that are in that 18, 19, 20-year old range, it's usually parents, mothers that are doing the booking. So it's either previous clients of mine who will have a daughter that age, or those that are friends of clients. You know, I have a wonderful Tantra practitioner that lives in Connecticut who she's been a massage therapist and a body worker for years. She's come down here on a few handful of times, literally flown down here specifically to learn from me and to experience my sessions. So she has talked to several of her friends and clients, and you know, like in one instance, you know, it would be a mother bringing a child by the means of 18. You know, I'm old enough to think an 18-year-old is a child. So yeah, so and there is no maximum age limit. Keep in mind that like my sessions are completely void of sexual perversion in any way. I'm not looking at this exchange, even if they are an exchange in intimacy, and even if there is a yoni aspect of it, my own sexual needs and temptations and desires are completely void in the situation. Like, this is an experience that's about my client. It's an experience that's about trust. So trust trumps perversion hands down every single day of the week. So like when I say that, you know, my sessions are welcome and open to clients of all kinds from age 18 through 180, you know, like it's really legitimately
So
like that. So I've
with
got
that, you're
clients that are in their twilight years.
okay. So with that, you're saying that a person that is not young, but probably a person that is what, 70, 80, can still have this massage with you?
Oh, 100%. a hundred
Okay,
percent. You know,
perfect.
maybe, I mean, it's not like I'm doing a yoni massage every single time. I mean, keep in mind, like I said, for my tantra work, I've got three different levels. And with
Yes,
those
exactly.
three different levels, there's a full spectrum. So yes, if your granny, if your abuela really needs a session in which she can get out of her anxiety and reestablish her own femininity post menopause, yes, tantra is a wonderful tool because, as you know, once a woman starts to get into that premenopausal stage, she starts to develop a little bit more masculine energy. That estrogen levels are starting to deplete. So, you know, like these sessions are a wonderful thing for, you know, women that are in their more twilight years. I kind of wish more older women would book, you know, but that will come as a little bit more social awareness around tantra kind of envelops the community. But for the most part now, I'd say 80% of my clients are actually booked by husbands or boyfriends for their spouse. And I'd say most of my clients are kind of either in the 30s are kind of the bulk, I would say. Some in the late 20s, some in the early 40s, but the 30s tend to be the bullseye of who's normally expressing interest in Tantra. And that
I
just
have,
might be generational.
I have a few questions. I want to know if this can be linked to abundance. I mean, I love to talk about abundance. I love to talk
Oh,
about
of
how
course.
can you heal in every way. And I do believe that Kundalini energy is the energy of life. It
It
gives life to
is.
everything we touch. So which person should come and see you? Only person that has traumas in the sexual aspect and emotional trauma, or
No.
would you
We
be able
all
to open up to abundance?
You kind of froze up there for a second.
Would you be able
I'm hoping I'm not losing you.
would you be able to have someone with you that is willing to open up to richness, abundance, and money? Would that work?
I think I understand the question that you're asking. Unfortunately, right now you're frozen on my screen. But so to answer the question I believe you're asking, if you can hear me correctly.
Jay, there's something that's important for me. I love to talk about abundance. I love to talk about money, money increase. Can a person that comes to you only has to deal with trauma, sexual abuse, emotional things, or can just a person come with you and tell you, I want to be richer. I want to be able to tap into my abundance? Because I do believe that Kundalini energy is full of this power, this life force that can bring life to everything, including money. Would a person with monetary or abundance problems come to you, and could you help that person open up for that?
Oh yes, 1,000,000%. I mean, people like to say, and this has been a theory for a very long time now, that you know the energy, the sexual, sensual energy is the most powerful energy that we can experience. When better to ask for this abundance in your world than when you're fully captivated in the present moment and you're alive at your most maximum? When you're feeling every sensation, when you are utilizing the body, this gift, at its full capacity. You know, during a tantra session and during sex, during orgasm. I mean, not just about coming and booking me. When you have your next orgasm, that's when you ask the universe for something. That's when you're showing the universe that you're really alive, that you're taking advantage of all the gifts the universe already gives you, and then you're asking for another one, because that's ultimately what the universe really wants. Is you focused on this present moment, enjoy the abundance that you're already giving to its full maximum potential, then you can ask for more. You know, so many people, they're like, oh, I want abundance and oh, I want this, but they're not utilizing all the gifts that the universe already gave them. So the universe is like, well, shit, why am I going to give you anything else? You're not even orgasming. You're not even taking time to take the proper steps to get away from this anxiety that you've created for yourself. You know, like, the universe wants you to pay attention to what you already have before it gives you more. So yes, like, you
This
know,
brings
like,
me
this is a wonderful way to receive abundance.
This brings me to something that I need to ask. I do believe in the power of manifestation when you're having your orgasm. I do believe that it's one
Yeah.
of the most powerful moments in which you can strengthen everything that you want and make it faster to manifest in your life. Do you teach that to your clients? Do you help them? Do you tell them
Oh,
eventually
yeah.
visualize what you want and bring it on when you're coming? Is Yes,
I
because I do
do.
that
Actually,
work.
I do with every tantra session. In fact, I have a deck of cards that I utilize as part of the process. So what I will
I
normally
love it.
do, as far as it, yeah. So what we do is, I know, like, we'll go through these trust experiences together. We'll envelop and eye gaze and really bond together a little bit beforehand, and then I will clean their soul and bring them to my table. Put a blindfold on them and have them really situate themselves in their own energy. And that's when we start to ask for abundance, by limiting the anxiety, by limiting the mind control that their own mind has. So you can't pick a card in my altar through your own brain. The universe needs to pick it. So in asking for the abundance, what we do is through, a couple different steps that I take, where we kind of come down out of that supercomputer and focused on my touch, on the sound of my voice, on the movement in which I sway them around. I allow them at that point to put forth a hand and slide it across the deck. But still, while they're sliding across the deck, they're hyper focused on the feeling of the sharp edges of the cards and of the coolness to the touch. By really getting firmly into that body space and firmly into their senses, the gifts that we already have from the universe that most people don't take advantage of, they're starting to actually utilize those. And in that, we pick a guide path, a card that showcases their path to the abundance that they want. So it's about what the universe and what their soul wants as far as abundance, rather than just begging and pleading for money or endless things. It's about really finding, like, feeling the gifts that you already have and then asking for the next thing to be something that your soul really needs. And then you
Wow.
can ask for something extra.
I love
Like that, those are the proper steps towards abundance. And yes, I utilize that with all of my tantra sessions.
I want to know if a person wants to book with you, because I have viewers worldwide. Would they be able to
Yeah.
book a session with you virtually, or do they necessarily have to go to where you are?
Oh,
Physical touch.
touch is required. They don't necessarily have to go where I am. I do travel for clients all the time. I've been all over the place for that. I'm actually, through mytantraexperience.com, formulating a complete package for clients that want to come here and not only experience the power of Tantra, but I've got other practitioners, Kundalini activation, sound healing, yoga, Kundalini yoga, psychiatry, psychology, like, I've got different practitioners from different modalities, and we'll custom blend a package that includes a night stay at a hotel, and which they'll get all their meals catered. They'll come and they'll experience first off a therapeutic session with me so we can integrate each other into each other's space and energy. I can fix their body's aches and pains, get them aligned, and then I'll have them rotate through the different therapists and the different modality practitioners. And it will culminate in a 3-hour tantra session at the end of the night in their hotel room with by candlelit, and it will be that it'll be both bookends of a wonderful soul enriching experience in which they've kind of been put through the ringer of all these different things that are meant breath work and body work and just a full day of liberation. So I do have that as an option for clients that are here in Miami, but more for clients that are traveling into this beautiful paradise city that we get for vacation. But then I also travel. So I travel all the time to different states and different countries, to share this experience with clients as well. But, for those that want to come to Miami and don't want to do the whole hotel experience and they just want to come and receive my magic, my door's open. We can easily book something and I would welcome them in every time.
Let's give our viewers a fast and short tip. If someone would give me a tip, I'm hungry for a tip, which one would be?
Okay. Well, I mean, I mentioned it several times. The biggest tip is just trying to get out of that headspace. Tantra is that training tool that you can experience heaven on earth. Because what is hell? We all wait for death to experience heaven and hell, but yet we have a chance right now. And to me, hell is constantly fatiguing and constantly thinking on something, whether it's unpleasant or pleasant, our past traumas or future, expectations. And heaven is just really happy in this moment. So if you want a quick tip for somebody, next time I'll give you 2 quick tips. If you're a woman and you want to dive into your feminine energy, learn how to salsa dance. And why do I say this?
Learn how to what?
Salsa
Salsa
dance.
dancing.
Salsa
Oh,
dance. Oh,
hey.
yes. Because guess what? Then you're going to be in an environment. I'm saying take a class. Don't just go to a salsa club unless there's like a bunch of really experienced masculine salsa dancers there. No, find a class. A class in which you've got a competent man who is going to guide and lead. He's going to put that foot forward of masculinity. And I do this in my sessions. For all of my tantra sessions, I have to be ultra masculine, wholesome masculine, but ultra masculine. And so in the same space of these classes, that man is that base. He's the rock. He's the one who knows what's going to happen. He's the one
And
who's
for women
going to
who have
work
no
you
men,
over and let you escape your anxieties by just twirling around like a princess.
and for
So
women
that's the
that
number
has
one thing.
no man, what can they do? Go
They can
to
go
a
to a salsa class. There are men in salsa classes. Find a man
okay,
salsa teacher. You don't need to
okay,
bring your own. In fact, if you
okay.
bring your own, you're probably going to have him stepping on your feet and you're not going to be able to be twirling around like a princess. No, no, go to an environment with a hired professional that is a man who knows what he's doing, because that's when you get a chance to really be at your feminine. You get to be twirled around and completely carefree. Like finding the ability to find activities that enrich the female soul is how you gain your power. So that's my first quick tip. My second
What
quick
do
tip is just, what's that?
okay. The second one. Tell me the second one.
Oh, it's quite easy. Next time you do the dishes, don't focus on getting the job done. Don't focus on the fact that you're doing dishes and it sucks. Focus on how does the soap feel as it glides across your skin? How
Ooh.
cool is the water to the touch? Pull your mind out of, because we all do an autopilot, just like when you're driving. When you're driving, you kind of just get to your destination and you're like, well, crap, that was easy. Like your brain is off somewhere else. You're just kind of going through the motions. And most people, when they're doing the dishes, that's what they're doing. They're thinking about something and just going through the motions, washing something, and putting it away. No, stop for a second, make it a ritual. And I know this is the silliest, stupidest thing because it's just washing the dishes, but you can make washing the dishes a ritual. And that's that first little tip, a
You know
quick little thing
something?
that you could do.
It actually sounds sexy just by
It
listening
should
to
be,
you.
right? Shouldn't
Thank
every
you.
activity that we do every day be sexy? Shouldn't the most mundane tasks, shouldn't we have the ability to find happiness from it because we make it sexy? That's the
Thank
life
you.
I want.
Thank you, Jay. It was
Yeah.
amazing this time with you. Now, how do
Thank you.
people found you? If they want to look for you, where should they look?
Well,
Instagram.
Instagram, I do, as you know, you're a follower. I do post, a lot. I mean, I'm not as big in posting just a bunch of random pictures and stuff of me, although I do share wonderful experiences that I have with my son because that brings me happiness to jump on my page and see it. But most of it's just my
Follow your
writings and my
page.
principles and my sauce. It's rhythmic bodywork is the best way to find me. And
Really.
rhythmicbodywork.com is also the best way to find me.
Jay, thank you very much for having
Thank
this
you.
time scheduled with us. I loved it. And
I loved it too.
I know
Thank you.
everybody that's watching loved it too. Now you know you can activate everything in your life through these tantra sessions with this tantra master that can take you to another level. I just love
Thank
this
you.
TV show today. I hope you did as I did. Many, many kisses and see you in the next time that we're together.